meet her? Did she just embrace you right away and say,
no.
come on, let's be friends?
No, she did not. Quite the contrary. As I alluded to earlier, I am a community-minded person. I'm also an environmentalist. So when I was living in this area at Old Yale and Marshall, they were going to be putting in a townhouse complex and an urban forest, and I got quite upset by that.
You didn't want a development coming into an area?
I didn't want this urban forest to become...
Urban forest is... sounds like a nice thing. Sounds like an environmental thing.
It is. And there's a salmon-bearing creek that runs through it.
Okay.
So,
they were going to destroy the urban forest for the development.
And they've done that, yeah.
And that has since happened?
Yeah.
But you tried to push back.
Yeah, because I spent 2 years on that. And so during that process, at the time, now when you deal with City Hall a lot, everything's online. We don't go in for very much. Back then, they just didn't have a lot of services online. So I had to go in quite a bit to the planning department. And they were getting quite annoyed with me. So they finally, one of the developers was frustrated. He threw down the plans for the city, the whole city, and said, I don't know why you're wasting your time because we have everything planned out for the next 10 years. And then I saw this big space and on the map,
right,
the 60 acres, and I said, what is this? And he said, that's the Cooper farm. Don't worry about that. It's all mapped out. It's going to be this and this and this. And I said, what?
So somewhere... How long ago do you figure?
Oh, that would have been 2009-ish, 2010-ish.
Before 2009, the elite of Abbotsford, the fathers of the little establishment, made a plan on what was going to happen with land.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of conversations with landowners or anything like that, this was how it was going to happen.
This is how it was going to happen. So I thought, does this lady know? And I knew this farm because my daughter went to preschool in Old Claiborne.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm Montessori, so I would pass here every day. My kids love the cows, right? It's beautiful to drive by. And I thought, I need to go talk to this lady and see if she knows
what's going on.
Well, I mean, I didn't even know. I did some research online, try to figure out who owns it, blah, blah, blah. I think they said this Cooper lady, and we're waiting for her to die. And so I actually reft right from the City Hall. I drove up Miss Kathy's driveway.
Here,
yes.
up onto the farm. That white house, maybe.
No, that's she's extended the barn. No, it's up there, the farmhouse.
Okay.
We'll see it when we're walking the other way.
Okay.
And I knocked and I told her, and she's like, get off my property right now.
With no fanfare. There was no understanding why you were there.
Well, I tried to say, and then she said, get out of here, get off my property. I don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah. I am assuming she's been approached so many times over the years because for money.
Government or developers?
Well, both, exactly, right? The gravel on that hill alone is probably worth $5-6 million just in gravel.
On her property?
On her property.
Okay.
That's not even developed yet. That's just taking the gravel. So she said, get the heck out. And I thought, oh, that didn't go very well. So, but I don't give up too easily on things. So I thought about her, the era of when she was born, the farm. I had done a traditional rug hooking. Traditional rug hooking?
Rug hooking,
making
okay.
rugs like they did at the turn of the century. And where they used the old clothing, they would tear it up, they used the burlap sacks. And so I had one of these rugs that I had made, and I thought, I think Miss Kathy would like that. And I had a plan with a teacher in town that Miss Kathy knew, an art teacher. He had tried to save the farm in the past with Robert Bateman. And so we worked together, and I rolled up an invitation to lunch, I think, with my phone number or something, telling her why I was interested, rolled it up in the rug, and I left the rug on her doorstep. And I got a call, I think, that day or the next day. And then we just became fast friends.
So from throwing you off her property to you doing an act of kindness that might connect with her.
Yes.
She then invited you into her life.
exactly, yeah.
So then you were able to have some conversations
Yes.
with her.
Yeah,
You
that-
were able to tell her what you had discovered.
Yes, and she very much wanted to save the barn so much. Was her dream to save the barn and have the farm as a teaching farm for young farmers. Was how she wanted to see it, and she wanted to live here until she died. And then she had some issues in terms of finances, so she knew that it would be sold or something would have to be done with it. But her dream was saving that barn and having it to teach others, because she was a teacher and educator herself.
You never came across her when you were teaching in any teachings?
Oh no, I taught in Ontario.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And was she aware of, or are you aware of any heritage programs, like they protect all these homes in Vancouver? There was nothing out here for historic farms or historic...
So what I ended up doing is I reached out everywhere, and I had already built up some environmental connections from when I did the work for the property at Old Yellow Marshall when I was trying to save that. And a lot of my arguments were environmental. So I had some connections in environmental and conservancy already. And so I reached out to the Land Conservancy in Victoria.
Okay.
And they came out to meet with Miss Kathy and discuss this whole...
Possibilities?
These possibilities. But her family, she kind of wiffle-waffle because family was involved. She didn't want to alienate family. Then there was the whole issue of her debts. So, and I was advised at the time by Jerry Palmer, a lawyer in the community, on the board of directors of Kinghaven, and he's a council person in Harrison Hot Springs. He said, Marlisa, step away, because you could be implicated legally for trying to take advantage of an older person that has
on behalf of the environment, or any cause. It could be construed as your personal agenda.
I had some personal agenda.
Okay.
And so he advised me not to be part of the meeting, not to attend, to just stay back and let whatever happened. And unfortunately, Miss Kathy shied away from proceeding with that option.
And what happened next?
I was going through a very contentious divorce, and so we lost contact. And then and I had contact here and there through the years, but then we heard it was sold in 2016. So
2016.
Yeah, the developers came knocking. She probably needed the money. She knew she was closer to the end of her life, and she wanted to have some say in what was going to happen. And,
did she?
Some of her wishes, yes, and the city will say that they're following her wishes to a T. But there's been conversations that I've had offline with people that were in Miss Kathy's life, and just from what I know of Miss Kathy, I know that they're not following it to a T, especially for the density. She did not want, she wanted single family dwellings.
There are a plan for, is it 400 homes?
Yeah, 400 to 500, and most of them will be townhouses. But there is some, only because of her wishes, because Polygon, who ended up buying from Algar Brothers. See, Miss Kathy did the deal with Algar Brothers in 2016. They're a local developer, and she quite liked Dave Algra. And they've done some really nice building downtown here, the Flatiron building.
Okay.
And they've also done some really nice work of the 1881 district in Chilliwack and Promontory area.
Okay.
So I think she liked Dave. They were local. They used to be farmers. I think they were pig farmers. And so she died with the understanding he would follow her wishes. Apparently there was two plans. Her plans and the plans he thought the city would accept. But then they decided in the interim to sell. So they sold to Polygon, who's a very big company. And Polygon has pushed it through council, and Polygon owns it, except for the 2 acres that are still owned by Miss Kathy's niece. Yeah, it was.
She is the estate executor,
No, she owns the 2 acres where I believe the barn sits on, but I can't remember that 100%. And the farmhouse. So the front
And these are supposed to go down soon.
Yeah, so she owns that still, but it was all Polygon paid for the whole process, and it was all taken to council as one piece, like
Gotcha.
one property.
Okay.